that nobody disrespects ordinary Nigerians.
President Muhammadu Buhari described late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe as unifying force at commissions of the Zix Mausoleum
We
and
are
Conference Center
seizing
at Onitsha.
this press conference to endorse the second-term bid of President Muhammadu Buhari to take Nigeria to the next level.
As APC presidential trend gathers momentum, more political parties adopt President Muhammadu Buhari as their candidate.
Of appeal as state proceedings at the Code of Conduct Tribunal.
Appeal Court obtains the decision of FCT High Court, declares Donald Duke as ADP presidential candidate. Also tonight, new minimum wage bill scales through second reading at the National Assembly. Hello and welcome to the Network News at 9 on the NTA. I am Kenan Emma Abodike. Reading with me tonight is Dotun Ogunyemi and Caleb Gochin from Jos. President Muhammadu Buhari says his interest in seeking re-election is to secure Nigeria and improve the economy that will bring back the potentials and glory of the regions for more prosperity. The president at the APC presidential rally held in Onitsha, Anambra State, assured the people of more developmental projects if re-elected. Political correspondent Salihu Abdullahi reports.
Impressed with the massive support the APC presidential campaign is receiving from party supporters across the country, President Muhammadu Buhari says his campaign messages, which center on creating an enabling environment for a stable nation where socio-economic activities will thrive, is born out of his desire for a better nation the future generation can be proud of. The president acknowledged peaceful coexistence among the people as essential.
I saw your leadership, that is the traditional rulers, and explained to them to please participate in security of neighborhood. The Minister of Labor, Chief Ingege, has told you what project we are doing, and you are seeing them with your own eyes. The road from Enugu to here, which was done last, I think in Abacha's time, is going done again now. And the one for Tahako to here again will be done. And the Minister of Transportation has told you of the railway project that will be developed from Port Harcourt again up to Maiduguri through some of the states in the East Central state. What we want you to do is to come out and vote for APC top to bottom.
Other speakers, including the national chairman of the APC, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, says the Buhari administration has fulfilled its promise and wants the people to make APC their choice using the ballot box so as to move Nigeria to the next level of development.
Bridge under construction is something that has been on for years. Groundbreaking, groundbreaking, groundbreaking. And Mr. President, you have gone beyond groundbreaking. Now it is a reality. Under social investment program, in Anambra today, 15,000 of our youth are in this program. The Port Harcourt to Maiduguri Railway takes off from Port Harcourt with a spur from Port Harcourt to Owerri, Owerri to Nnewi to Awka.
The APC presidential campaign train thereafter proceeded to the coal city state, Enugu, in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari says all policies, programs and critical decisions by his administration on national issues are taken not only conscientiously but with high sense of responsibility and patriotism. The president stated this while exchanging views with traditional, religious and community leaders at the palace of Obi of Onitsha during a courtesy visit. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president also met Enugu monarchs.
It was a no-holds-barred interrogation of the Buhari presidency by a cross-section of the Igbo community in Anambra State on critical issues dear to their hearts.
The president was appreciative of what you've done to us by putting money down for second Niger bridge, 30 billion naira.
We have been crying of marginalization. In terms of appointment to key offices, we are saying that the devolution of powers is important in the country.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who responded to the issues one after the other, described as unfair for anyone to accuse his administration of marginalizing the Southeast in terms of appointment.
But I expect you to be more patriotic in the presentation. I think I try to be fair. Appointments in the armed forces and other law enforcement agencies depends on individual performance after recruitment, not what state you come from, or what ethnicity you are, or what religion you belong to. At least this, between me and God, is my understanding and is what I do.
While thanking the people for appreciating the enhanced provision of infrastructure in the region, the president maintained that if the last administration had utilized even 25% of the resources that came its way in meeting national aspirations, Nigerians would have been minding their businesses.
That massive irresponsibility, only God can preside over those who committed it against this country. But those I managed to lay my hands on, I will follow the system so that they can be prosecuted.
President Buhari, who made a case for the community leaders to be more involved in the task of addressing the challenges of security, especially kidnapping, once again reaffirmed his commitment to free, fair and credible elections in the country.
All I'm interested in is to make sure that nobody disrespects ordinary Nigerians. Nobody marshal a number of thugs because he has resources and organized snatching of boxes and other things. I have been warning the security agencies. Those who dared me in this, they are going to have the shock of their lives. Nigerians must be respected.
President Muhammadu Buhari also paid a similar visit to the palace of Eze Odezulugbo III of Nike in Enugu State, Igwe Julius Naji, to solicit support for his government and political aspiration.
I am here as an APC presidential candidate, and I hope you will convince your subjects to vote for me and not to vote for your governor's party's candidate. Thank you. Thank you very much.
As Julius Naji, who commended President Buhari for improving federal presence in Enugu State and the Southeast, presented to him an offer, a gift of remarkable significance that symbolizes unity, peace, progress, and best wishes.
Your visit today offers us the opportunity to convey our most profound gratitude to you for the critical infrastructure development your administration has brought to the Southeast zone.
President Buhari was in Enugu State as part of the nationwide electioneering campaign by the governing APC. Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Now, President Muhammadu Buhari says his administration will continue to consolidate on the three-pronged campaign promise of ensuring adequate security, growing the economy, as well as fight against corruption. He reaffirmed this at the APC presidential campaign rally in the Southeast. Political correspondent Salihu Abdullahi tells us more.
In continuation of its nationwide campaign, the APC presidential train was received in the Coal City State amid cheers and jubilations. President Muhammadu Buhari said he will not be distracted in fulfilling his administration's agenda of providing purposeful leadership with a view of taking Nigeria to the path of glory Government focused on 3 key areas of security, economy, and fight against corruption, he noted, are fundamental in the efforts of reviving Nigeria's developmental stride.
I'm looking for your sympathy and understanding. I'm doing my best, and I keep on promising that whoever is caught this time around, houses in Abuja, monies in Europe, America, and Asia, will persuade the government to cooperate and bring it back and invest it in infrastructure.
Amen. APC.
One after the other, APC stalwarts took turns to point out the numerous infrastructural development policies and initiatives of the government aimed to alleviate poverty and create employment opportunities for not only indigenes of Enugu State, but the country in general.
We need our president to continue with the good work he has started, so that the work that is going on Niger Bridge will not be terminated.
Our people came out to vote in 2015. We are supposed to more than quadruple that vote at this time. We can only confirm our support for the ruling party through the ballot box.
In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Allied Congress Party of Nigeria has withdrawn support for its presidential candidate, Obi Ezekwesili, and endorsed the second-term bid of President Muhammadu Buhari. National chairman of the party, who is also the party's vice presidential candidate, Ganiyu Galadima, disclosed this at a press conference in Abuja. Political correspondent Salihu Abdullahi again reports.
Obi Ezekwesili emerged the presidential candidate of Allied Congress Party of Nigeria on the 7th October 2018. Her last public appearance as ACPN candidate was her participation in the presidential debate organized by the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria on the 19th January 2019. 5 days after, she announced her withdrawal from the race to seek for coalition with other political parties.
What she did was not in any way a surprise to us.
But her party appears not to be on the same page with her. The party's leadership described her action as one that preempted that of the party that withdrew support for her and endorsed the re-election of APC's candidate, Muhammadu Buhari.
We want to inform the whole world and supporters of the Allied Congress Party of Nigeria nationwide and all our members that we are seizing this opportunity of this press conference to endorse the second-term bid of President Muhammadu Buhari to take Nigeria to the next level.
The party's national chairman said all state executives have been mobilized to carry the message of supporting President Muhammadu Buhari to members across the country and advised the former presidential candidate to return party property in her possession. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And still talking politics, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it is impossible for any presidential candidate to withdraw from the race now. Chief Press Secretary INEC, Rotimi Oyekomi, in a statement, makes reference to the electoral timetable and schedule of activities for the 2019 general elections, that the last day for withdrawal by candidates or replacement of withdrawn candidates by political parties was 17th November 2018 for presidential and National Assembly elections. The statement says the deadline, therefore, for Ezekwesili or any candidate in that category to withdraw or be replaced has passed. In the meantime, the Buhari Media Organization, BMO, says former Education Minister and presidential candidate of ACPN, Obi Ezekwesili, owes Nigerians an apology for joining a presidential race that she knew she had no capacity and intention to see through. In a statement by its chairman and secretary Niye Akisiju and Kasidi Madweke, BMO commends the Allied Congress Party of Nigeria, ACPN, for endorsing President Muhammadu Buhari for a second term in office, describing it as a realization of the values represented by the president and his efforts at putting the country firmly on the path of greatness. The statement urges Ezekwesili to reconsider and throw her weight behind the president's re-election bid rather than embarking on another futile exercise of building a coalition against President Buhari. The PRO Buhari group also urges undecided Nigerians to take a cue from ACPN and reject plans by the PDP to stage a return to power at the center for another chance to create economic and social chaos among the people. Presidential candidate of the PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, says he will reposition the economy if elected into power in the forthcoming general elections in the country. Instead of this, at the PDP South-East Zone rally held in Owerri, Imo State capital, Beatrice Anyem was there.
The PDP Southeast presidential rally, which took place at Dana Nyam Stadium, Owerri, attracted PDP stalwarts and supporters from the 5 Southeast states, including the Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu, governors of Enugu, Ebonyi, and Abia states. PDP presidential candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar said if elected the president, he will restructure Nigeria and create jobs for the teeming unemployed youths.
We are promised to get the economy growing again.
Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu, Chairman PDP Governorship Forum, David Umahi, Imo State PDP governorship candidate Chief Emeka Ihedioha, among other speakers, called on the people of Southeast to vote for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and other PDP candidates at the polls. Some other PDP stalwarts emphasized the need for the people to ensure they obtain their PVCs. The rally featured presentation of party flags to the 5 Southeast governorship candidates of the party by the national chairman, Uche Secondus. In Owerri, Beatrice Anyam, NTA News.
Now, Zik Mausoleum and Conference Center are executed at about 2 billion naira to give a deserving honor to the first president of Nigeria, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, has been formally inaugurated. President Muhammadu Buhari, who performed the ceremony in Onitsha, is hopeful that the edifice will serve as a reminder to Nigerians the best values that Zik of Africa espoused in knowledge, service to humanity, and to leadership. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president also inaugurated a center of excellence at the Enugu campus of the University of Nigeria, constructed by the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Conceived over 20 years ago to serve as a national monument in honor of the late Nnamdi Azikiwe, the mausoleum was completed by the Buhari administration under its pragmatic infrastructural renewal program. Inaugurating the project, described by many as a tribute to patriotism with enormous national and international ramifications, President Muhammadu Buhari noted with nostalgia that Zik had built indelibly in the hearts of Nigerians by his service, comradeship, brotherhood, as well as politics of engagement.
Zik does not need this house. It is we who need Zik's name to give this house a meaning. My hope is that this building will serve the purpose of promoting nationalism, patriotism, and public service. As you join me in building the Nigeria that we all want, may your service and contributions not go unnoticed, and may they inspire the next generation to do more as Zik has done and has inspired us all.
Both the governor of Anambra State, Obi of Onitsha, and other speakers at the ceremony were full of gratitude to President Muhammadu Buhari for delivering on his promise of completing the project, describing him as a moral compass.
We thank you, Mr. President, for coming and for making a long-standing Nigerian dream come true. We thank you for immortalizing the great son of Nigeria.
I'm happy that with the commissioning of this magnificent mausoleum, Nanya Wele can now rest with the full honor and dignity that befits a statesman of his stature.
Also in the neighboring Enugu State, President Buhari inaugurated a world-class postgraduate school called the Center of Excellence, constructed under the auspices of the Central Bank of Nigeria's collaborative postgraduate program. The event, the president said, signifies his administration's commitment towards addressing the deteriorating state of the education sector, even in the face of dwindling resources.
Akaribo of Remo Land, Oba Michael Babatunde Ajayi, has promised to support President Muhammadu Buhari and their son, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. The monarch stated this when he received the vice president who came for royal blessings during the APC presidential campaign in Ogun East Senatorial District. Yemi Dalemo completes the report.
Akaribo told the Traditional Council to support President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo for economic prosperity, good and accountable governance. The Vice President interacted with sons and daughters of Remoland during a town hall meeting attended by leaders and representatives of 33 communities making up the Remo Kingdom. Responding to questions from the people, the Vice President highlighted the various developmental strides of the Buhari administration in Remoland, which include construction of Shagamu-Gwejo Road, Shagamu-Orebini Expressway, rehabilitation of Iperu Ileshan water scheme, as well as expansion of the Shagamu Power Transmission Substation for improved power supply in Remo Kingdom.
So there are many things that we can do in Remoland, and we must not make people too jealous of us. So we'll be doing it, we will do it as carefully as well as we can, but we will definitely do what we need to do in Remoland.
Vice President, accompanied by the Ogun State governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Dapo Abiodun, also took the campaign to Sabo Market in Shagamu, where he addressed them on the need for them to key into the taking Nigeria to next level under President Muhammadu Buhari by voting massively for him and the governorship candidate of the party in Ogun State. The campaign train was also in Ikenne, where the Vice President commissioned the ultra-modern Ikenne market donated by him to the community. The beneficiary, led by the leader of the market women, Mrs. Mercy Uwolano, commended the Vice President for fulfilling his promise and assured him of their support to the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari and Yemi Osinbajo. The Vice President moved from house to house, door-to-door campaigning in Shagamu, Ikenne, Ileshan, Iperu, and Ugiri, where he told Nigerians that politics is not about stealing and corruption, but about improving the lives of the people. Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
Now, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has expressed as heartwarming the enthusiasm of the people of Kwara State and their yearning for a change in administration and governance, just as he dismissed Senate President Bukola Saraki's allegations over the last by-elections into the Federal House of Representatives election in Kwara State. The minister spoke to newsmen shortly after a meeting with leaders and stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in his country home in Oro. Anthony Forson reports.
On arrival, the minister was received by party officials and straight they went into a closed-door meeting. Disclosing the outcome, he said,
"What is happening in Kwara State today goes beyond campaigning for election. It's about a mass movement. It's about a revolution. I came here very confident that we're going to win. But I'm leaving here even much more confident. I've been amazed by the level and depth of the determination, commitment, and sacrifices of the leaders. They are reaching out to electorates themselves and say, no, it's not about money. It's about freedom. It's about prosperity for our children. So I'm coming out of this meeting even much more encouraged and much more confident than when I came in. It's not a fact. What they told me is, look, Honorable Minister, go and campaign elsewhere. Leave us in the South. Go and spend your resources and your time in other parts of the state. We are assuring you that we are going to deliver Kwara South for you. So it's been a very useful meeting.
Reacting to the Senate President Bukola Saraki's comments, Lai Mohammed simply dismissed his allegations.
I have been told that the Senate President, in that interview, said that it was actually a contest between the PDP and the police. As a matter of fact, helicopter was brought in, bringing in ballot boxes, which were given to APC. I think the Senate President, with due respect, is so rattled, so afraid that he's becoming a bit illogical. Because the truth of the matter is that on the eve of the election, you see, traditionally, when the election materials are delivered, they are put in custody of the Central Bank of Nigeria. And on the eve of that, by-election, all the party agents, inspected the materials together in Ilorin. So where did we get our own materials from?
The minister concluded with a high degree of confidence.
If the euphoria tends to go about, we should stop campaigning. But we will not stop. It will work because we want to defeat PDP overwhelmingly. We want to show that it's possible for votes to count and for votes to be counted. And that when votes count and votes are counted in Kwara State, APC will overwhelmingly defeat PDP. I'm completely confident.
From Oro in Kwara State, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
You are watching the news at 9 on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. More reports after this break. Stay tuned.
This used to be me. But that was before I got the perfect bag. It's handy and easy to use. All I need in one compact space, just like my MTN Extra Value plan. I used to get one plan for my calls and then try to remember which data plan worked for me. Roaming was a totally different ballgame. Not anymore. I've got the MTN Extra Value all-in-one plan. If you're a data buff like me, you get extra data with some talk time. And if you like to make calls, you get extra talk time with some data. And when I'm abroad, I automatically browse, chat, and call right on the same plan. MTN Extra Value was made just for me.
More of data or calls, whichever one you prefer. MTN Extra Value is made just for you.
People of Lagos don't agree say that only President Muhammadu Buhari go fit to continue with the good work wey dey shele for our country for 3 years now. Now the man wey don begin repair our country Nigeria from the bad way it be before when them spoil am with the corruption and thief. People of Lagos State, our country don't better, so it could make we all support and vote Muhammadu Buhari and Professor Yemi Osinbajo as Vice President, so if it continue and finish the good work what they do for we country. So now forward ever and backward never. Vote APC. Now a co-plus support group power this message.
The 5,000 naira where we need to buy UTME form for junior, he never complete.
Mama Junior, President Muhammadu Buhari don't reduce price of UTME and DE form from 5,000 naira to 3,500 naira, excluding the money for reading text. Jam go begin sell 2019 UTME and direct entry application form from January 10 to February 21, 2019. The exam go sell for 16 to 23 March. For general detail, make una go to ibas.jam.gov.nt or download the app from Google Play Store. To register by form, text surname, first name plus middle name to 55019. Jam go send profile code wey get 10 character. Now this profile code candidate go fill when they pay for jam form. After payment, candidate go receive e-pin for him phone. Now this e-pin candidate go take go any accredited jam CBT center to complete online registration. Don't use another person phone number to take register.
Jam, enhancing academic excellence.
entire people of Kebbi State under the leadership of Maishin Kafa, the executive governor of Kebbi State, Senator Atiku Bagudu, are thanking Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari and his entourage for coming to Kebbi State for his campaign rally. Mr. President, we are solidly behind you to move Nigeria to the next level. Long live Nigeria, long live Kebbi State. This message is from Buhari Atiku Campaign Organization. Alhaji Sani Dododo, Chairman, Information and Publicity Announcer.
Did you know that the law governing the Nigeria Police Force predates independence and was enacted in 1943? A bill to repeal and reenact this law is currently before the Senate and seeks to update the law to bring it in line with modern practice. The bill also improves protection of citizens during police stop and search, mandates training of police officers, establishes community police forums, prohibits police officers from taking intoxicating substances while on duty, establishes a mechanism for investigating complaints of police misconduct, and establishes the Police Reward Fund to reward gallant officers. To learn more about this bill, visit www.placng.org. You can also follow the Twitter conversation via #ReformNPF, #PassPoliceBill. This message is brought to you by Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, PLAC.
The Rector, on behalf of the Governing Council, Management, Academic Board, staff and students, announces the 14th Convocation Ceremony of Akanu Ibem Federal Polytechnic, Uwana. Date, Saturday, 26th January 2019. Venue, the Polytechnic Multipurpose Center. Time, 12 noon. Signed, Val Ike Okafor, Registrar.
I'm an only child, and I grew up as such. From an extremely poor background. Early morning I will fetch water for the family, then go to school, come back from school, then take the cattle for rearing. The cattle was not our own, but it was a wealthier neighbor's own, who will now in exchange give us some grains to feed for the family.
Nigeria, where all our people have equal opportunities. We must be the hope of the common man for the common good of the Commonwealth of Nigeria.
This message is brought to you by our Moment Group.
Welcome back to the news. The Senate has passed the new minimum wage bill for second reading. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Onkwo reports that the bill seeks to amend the National Minimum Wage Act of 2011 from 18,000 to 27,000 naira.
Well, shortly after the presiding officer, Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu, announced the new minimum wage bill sent by Mr. President, the Senate leader, Ahmed Lawan, raised a point of order urging the Senate to give accelerated hearing to the national minimum wage bill.
This is a very, very, very important and critical bill. This Senate should give it a very expeditious passage.
The motion to suspend Senate rules and pass the bill for both first and second reading at this plenary was adopted. During the second reading, senators argued in favor of the urgent attention given to the bill by both the presidency and the National Assembly.
Mr. President, let me start by congratulating the president for leading the effort that culminated in setting 27,000 naira as a minimum wage for the workers of this country.
And most people who are already earning high have already excess money. But people who are earning this low wage, they cannot even make ends meet.
If we look at it in the wisdom as wise men and women in these chambers, I feel that this is not enough for the civil servant. I think we should try and see what we can do.
That the state governments should now look inwards and see how this money can be generated.
There is a need to keep reviewing the scheme.
30,000, if we are going to be realistic, is even not enough.
What we have before us is a single national minimum wage of 27,000. So there's no discrimination between the federal workers and state workers. Second reading taken and referred to an ad hoc committee.
The legislators passed the bill for an act to establish the Defense Research and Development Bureau, sponsored by Senator Abubakar Kyari from Borno North.
Produce state-of-the-art sensors, weapon systems, platforms, and allied equipment for our defense services.
Senate has adjourned plenary to the 19th of February 2019 from the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives will on Monday next week conduct a public hearing on the new national minimum wage bill of 27,000 naira transmitted to the House by President Muhammadu Buhari. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the Speaker Yakubu Dogara announced this at Thursday's plenary.
The new national minimum wage bill is being given accelerated consideration as it went through first and second reading Thursday's plenary. The public hearing on the bill, to be conducted by an ad hoc committee, is to pave the way for its final passage on Tuesday, 29th January 2019.
It is hoped that the committee will report to us on Tuesday, and by the grace of God, we'll pass it on Tuesday, and then we can close the session until after elections.
People who depend on salary, whose incomes are fixed, are at the mercy of inflation.
I'm urging my colleagues to support the second reading of this bill so that Nigerian workers can earn the minimum wage.
Another matter that elicited debate was the bill sponsored by Representative Sadiq Ibrahim, which seeks allocation of elective positions to women.
Any society that locks away more than 50% of its population can never grow.
Everybody hides behind Section 42 of the Constitution, and they say it is discriminatory. But, Mr. Speaker, we all know that the provisions of the Constitution are self-evident, but they are not self-enacting.
Even if we support this bill, that is not going to be practicable. We know it.
Debate on the bill was, however, suspended just as the Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, announced that deliberations on the 2019 appropriation bill will continue on Tuesday next week after corrections have been effected on identified errors on some figures. In another development, the newly appointed Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters for House of Representatives, Umar Eliakub, has visited the Speaker alongside some dignitaries.
I want to thank you also for maintaining this bond of friendship that we built here in the legislature.
It's by way of ensuring a very cordial and fruitful relationships with the executive arm of government.
From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Now to judicial matters, where the Court of Appeal has overturned the decision of the FCT High Court declaring Professor Jerry Garner as the presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party and declared Donald Duke as the newly elected candidate. This follows the hearing of an appeal filed by Mr. Donald Duke. Femi Okewo reports.
Following the emergence of Donald Duke as the presidential candidate of the SDP on the 6th of October 2018, the runner-up in the primaries, Professor Jerry Garner, went to the FCT High Court asking for a nullification of the primaries. His argument was that Donald Duke is from the south of Nigeria, just like the SDP chairman, Chief Olufalaye. A scenario, he said, was in contravention of Section 15, subsection 3 of the SDP Constitution. The FCT High Court agreed with him and gave him the presidential ticket. Now, the Court of Appeal has restored the candidacy of the winner of the October 6th SDP primaries, saying the decision of the FCT High Court was a perversion of justice. The Appellate Court said that the section Constitution, which talked about rotation, was not even in operation at the time candidates obtained their forms to contest. Justice Abdul Aboki, who read the lead judgment, said zoning or rotation were political arrangements by parties and cannot override the constitutional right of every Nigerian to vie for whichever office any such person wishes.
Well, it's elating, but I know, it's time-consuming. We've been gerrymandering for a long time on this matter, so it's good to put it at bay and face what we want to do to ensure that we not only put our party in the forefront, but go ahead to win the elections.
In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
Governor Mohammed Abubakar of Bauchi State has cautioned voters in the state against voting those he says wants to loot the nation's treasury. He was speaking at his re-election campaign in Bauchi's Central Sanitary Zone. Mahmoud Ibn Mohammed reports.
Flanked by party leaders and aspirants of the All Progressives Congress in Bauchi State, Governor Muhammad Abubakar's visit to Bauchi Central Senatorial Zone for his re-election bid reveals the popularity of the ruling All Progressives Congress in the zone. Supporters carrying banners and other items that depict allegiance to the APC. Governor Muhammad Abubakar was greeted with what is now the party's 8-finger salute and chant of the party's slogan. Speaking in Hausa language, speaker after speaker told the crowd reasons why they should vote President Muhammadu Buhari, Governor Muhammad Abubakar, and all other candidates of the APC. Then Governor Muhammad Abubakar made his way to the podium. He centers his message on the economy, agriculture, youth and women empowerment, health and infrastructural development. The governor also used the opportunity to inaugurate some newly constructed primary health care centers within Bauchi Central Senatorial Zone. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Mohammed, NTA News.
The federal government has approved the appointment of Hassan Bashir as the acting chairman of the National Population Commission with immediate effect. This followed the exit of the chairman of the commission, Eze Durihoma, whose tenure expired on 23rd of January. In a statement by the Director General of the commission, Gaji Ismaila Bello, it stated that a letter conveying the approval by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation directed that Hassan Bashir, who is currently the most senior of the federal commissioners of the commission, should take over the affairs of the commission in acting capacity, pending the appointment of a substantive chairman. It's time now to link up with Dotun in Lagos for more reports from that zone.
Thank you, Kene, and welcome to the Center of Excellence. Development Bank of Nigeria is projecting an increase of 70 billion naira in its disbursement of loan in 2019 from its 31.364 billion naira in 2018 in order to drive the growth of small and medium-scale enterprises in the country. Managing Director, Development Bank of Nigeria, Tony Opanachi, at a media parley in Lagos, said the bank will provide longer tenure of funds for MSMEs when necessary. Abolade Salami has the report.
The impact of small and medium-scale enterprise to the growth of the nation's economy is enormous. Hence, the need for the continuous funding of the sector. This explains why the Development Bank of Nigeria is providing finance, capacity building, and sustainability through commercial and microfinance banks to MSMEs in the country.
Remember, we are a wholesale institution, so we encourage these financial institutions to go into different sectors, but we are not excluding any sector. Any sector that has growth, job creation potential is quite key to us.
Managing Director of the bank, Tony Opanachi, while reeling out the achievements of the wholesale financial institution in the last 1 year, said the bank exceeded its 30 billion naira 2018 disbursement projection with over 35,000 MSMEs.
When we do our evaluation, that's what we go to find out the purpose for which the funds were taken. Is it really meeting those elements? And is it really making those impact? This year we project to do about 70 billion in terms of from where we are. So we're pushing the envelope further.
The bank, he added, will be setting up a subsidiary which will serve as a wholly guarantee company in risk sharing. He reiterated the commitment of the bank to be one of the leading financial institutions that will drive MSMEs' access to financial sustainability. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Lagos. It's now back to Kene in Abuja for more on the network news.
You're still watching NTA News. Time to pause for another break. Do stay with us.
The Ad Hoc Committee on the National Minimum Wage Bill 2019 hereby invites relevant stakeholders to the public hearing on the new National Minimum Wage. The public hearing will hold as follows. Date, Monday, 28 January 2019. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Venue, Room 028, New Wing, House of Representatives, National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Memoranda should be submitted to the Office of the Clerk, House of Representatives, White House, National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Patrick A. Giwa, Clerk, House of Representatives, Announcer.
It's really tough right now. It's hard to expand my business.
Exactly. You know, many farmers depend on me. All these banks saying they don't see my vision.
Good evening, gentlemen. Sorry for interrupting. That's not exactly true.
How do you know?
I'm living proof. Mind if I join you?
Not at all.
Just last year, I had planned to expand my hospitality business. It was tough, but I met the right people.
So, who exactly are these people?
My bank, FCMB. Eddie, their bills on the house. I forgot to mention, this is one of our hotels. Have a great night, gentlemen.
With the right guys who believe in your visions, getting to your desired destination is easier and quicker. Let's help you take the next step. FCMB, my bank, and I.
Sore throat, it's often caused by bacteria and viruses. Feels like they're having a party. You need Strepsils. It soothes the pain, plus it fights the germs with 2 germ-killing actives. Double power in 1 lozenge. Bye-bye sore throat. Take Strepsils.
What's up?
His friends didn't come.
Hey, let's practice.
But you're going out.
Don't worry about me.
Nothing satisfies a mother more than seeing a child grow up. But I know as he sweats, he'll face the risk of germs which can cause skin irritation.
That's why you need the new best ever Dettol Cool. Its new advanced formulation with extra menthol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs and gives your family icy cool freshness.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
This is to invite the general public to the formal presentation of the book Testing the Grade of Public Service, an autobiography of Malam Adamu Liman Chiroma, under the chairmanship of Malam Mahmoud Yayel Ahmed, Ajian Katagun. Book presenter, Alhaji Dr. Aminu Dantata. Book reviewer, Professor Abubakar Rashid, Executive Secretary, AUC. Chief host, Malam Nasir Ahmed El Rufai, Executive Governor, Kaduna State. Date, Saturday, 26 January 2019, by 9 a.m. at Arewa House, Kaduna. Announcer, Book Launch Committee.
What is the real value of the money you receive on election day in order to cast your vote for a candidate? Note that the money you receive is all you will be paid in the next 4 years the candidate will be in office. He has paid you in advance for 4 years' service. How much do you value yourself? Is that small change offered what you are worth? They have bought your silence so that they and their children can live well. Is 13 kobo per day or even 68 kobo per day worth it? Think twice. Don't sell your future. Don't sell your vote. 4 years is a long time. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
The entire people of Kebbi State, under the leadership of Maishin Kafa, the executive governor of Kebbi State, Senator Atiku Bagudu, are thanking Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari and his entourage for coming to Kebbi State for his campaign rally. Mr.